Hey, how are you? Hope your Thanksgiving went pretty good and you got fat, dumb, and happy like I did with my family. Hey, a couple things. I'm going to show you some artwork here. Let me double. There we go. Come in here. All right. Here's Hey, but before we get started, make sure you go to McFarlane.com, Spawn.com. Today is the last day to enter to get your year's worth of toys. So if you want to enter, look at. So here's the splash page. I'm going to show you something that doesn't look very good, right? You're going, what the heck is that, Todd? It doesn't make any sense to me. But that's all that is actually just the highlight. What we have here is a page from 259. There's some colors, there's some inks, and when you put it all together, let's start with the ink. When you put it all together, you can see some of the detail here that's being put in just in the black and white, right in here. Got this cool creature here that's helping Satan in this issue. Haven't finished inking it here. But the other thing we do, besides sort of trying to get as much detail as we can in all this artwork, right? You can see it sort of up in here. I try to come in here, even in the rocks, you know, try to spend a little bit of time doing some stuff in the rocks. Here's Wanda, who died, so this is sort of her soul, right? She's down in hell, and her soul is there. And then again, lots of detail up in the backside here. But now that we have all that, then you tap on some color. I'll turn it on and off for you. Dish, 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 dish. So we add the color there. Now all of a sudden you can see the rocks start getting texture, right? Great gentleman by the name of FCO does the coloring on it. He's the same guy who colors the Batman book over at DC. And then sometimes I'll come in and add just a little bit of tweaks here, doing some highlights here on the rocks here that I'll fade up in here, and we'll fade up in here because of the light that's going on here. And then if we sort of go into the head, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you here. Touch. No, bigger, Todd. Come on. You know which direction that is. All right, so now we have a big shot of his head, let's say here, right? So there's a lot of, you know, I try to add some extra detail in the inking up in here, and then you can see in the coloring, we try and add some sort of streak lines up in here. But then we also do the glow, and then if we can see the jump here, if I move this out of the way, then you can see that you then add a glow to it so it feels like it's on fire, right? And as you can see over here, you're going to start to get little spaghetti strands here. I'm going to add a bunch more to make it even cooler and more detailed. But right, even if when I click it off and on, if you can see here, all the yellow up in here, so it looks like it's sort of burning through his head just a little bit, right? And so sometimes you don't see some of the subtlety. Even when I'm working on it, I don't really sort of notice what's happening, and I have to click and go, oh yeah, I guess we are adding some stuff there. But you know, even in the shoulders here, right? I added some highlights in the shoulders. But as we get a little bit smaller, then we go back, then you'll see. Now again, I don't have to go in there and detail everything, because it is a comic book, and unlike last issue where I did this mostly silent issue where I did Spawn just sort of beating up on a bunch of people, there's going to be a bunch of talking. So we'll have some big balloon here, we'll have a big balloon here, and then maybe Wanda might even say something that'll go up in here in the detail that's here. So anyway, that's a look at the page. And a reminder again, go to McFarlane.com, Spawn.com, and enter to get a year's worth of our toys from McFarlane Toys. Hope you enjoyed that. And let me see, I'll see if I can answer a question, because these bubbles come up so fast. So somebody asked me a question and I will answer it. I'm reading right now. It says, Dreamer Snick, enter me. I can't enter you because you have to enter. Do I like pizza? Of course I like pizza. Who's that from? That's from Miriam 0507. Of course I like pizza, Miriam. Todd come to Dallas, says big fanboy. I've been there before, but it's probably been 10 years. I'll have to get there. Bucket list item for Pop Venom. Wants an original piece of artwork for me. If you try and find any of the comic book pages I did, big dinero, unfortunately, because I haven't had any into the pool there. Somebody else, Brian Brushford, says, come to Cincinnati where the Reds are. Home of the Cincinnati Reds, so we can sign a petition for Pete Rose to get back into the Hall of Fame. So, hold a sec. Somebody brought my dog into the office too. There's my dog.
Hi, Gordon.
Little birdie.
Hi, Jake.
So, and there's my dude.
Just periscoping.
Hi. Oh, I gotta stop. That's my son. That's my son and my beautiful wife. So,
How was
I've
your
got
ride?
things to do. Thanks for coming. And
And your honeymoon, right?
Periscope down.
Oh, you guys, where'd you guys go?